We're into college football now, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we will get to the college football coaching carousel and give some updated predictions for the biggest jobs remaining, including where Deion Sanders could potentially end up. Also, we will discuss Hudson Card, the University of Texas backup quarterback. Where will he be headed? And also, the college football playoff is expanding. We'll tell you what the 12-team playoff will look like and where the destinations will be, give you everything you need to know on expansion in just a little while from right now. Let's begin with the coaching carousel. And 4 big jobs remaining right now. Within the Power 5, Cincinnati, still saying Power 5 in Cincinnati sounds a little odd. Them joining the Big 12 next year is immediate. And then you have Stanford and Colorado are both open. Then there's USF, which has potential to be one of the best group of 5 jobs with the schools that are leaving the American now. So with that said, who will end up where? Our team here at Chat Sports, we sat down together and figured out who is going to end up in those 4 jobs, who we believe will be ultimately there when it's all said and done. Let's start with Cincinnati. Jim Leonhard is our pick to be the head coach at Cincinnati. A little trade of some sorts for the Bearcats as they lost Luke Fickell to the University of Wisconsin. And Jim Leonhard, of course, it was the interim head coach there at Wisconsin. So it'd be interesting if they were able to trade spots there. Leonhard played in the NFL, very young head coach. A lot of excitement about what he brings to the table potentially, and not a bad run filling in as the interim head coach for Paul Chryst there at Wisconsin. The Stanford job, this is one of those things that kind of makes sense. I know that people are going to point to Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, but leaving in the middle of the NFL season seems kind of difficult. Dave Clawson. Now, you look at what he's done at Wake Forest, and that program's the best they've been in a very long time. And that's a very elite academic institution. Well, when you look at that Stanford program, you have to have somebody that knows how to compete when you have to consider the circumstances. Academic-wise, Dave Clawson seems like a natural fit for what Stanford is looking for in knowing how to win at Stanford, taking that blueprint that he's used at Wake Forest. Then there's Colorado, and that's where we see Deion Sanders ultimately ending up here. Deion in Boulder, how exciting would that be? That Colorado program certainly needs a spark. We know what they were able to do in the 90s as one of the top programs in the country, but they have fallen off. And Deion in Colorado, I think he'd be able to kind of do his thing. He would get to be Deion, be prime time there, and could bring some top-tier talent to that Colorado program. They certainly need a boost for sure. And then the South Florida job, this, to me, would be an excellent hire for South Florida if they can pull it off. Jamey Chadwell from Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina has had the best success they've ever had as a program within the last few years under Jamey Chadwell. They've been able to win some big-time games, bring in some quality talent that have gone on to the National Football League, and you bring him over to South Florida, watch out. That Bulls program could really take a big step up. So those are our predictions. Now, let's focus back on Deion here for a second. Weigh in for me in the comments section. Our pinned comment today, where will Deion Sanders coach next year? You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it and get your votes in. Will it be Colorado? Will it be Cincinnati? Is he going to end up back at Jackson State? Where will we see Deion as a head coach in 2023? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's move on to Hudson Card now, the quarterback from the University of Texas who backed up Quinn Ewers this year, and we've seen him start a decent number of games over the last couple of seasons, but his future in Texas is over at this point as he plans to enter the transfer portal. A lot of speculation of where he could end up, and we put a list together of the best destinations, most likely where Card could go. Number 1 on our list is right there within the Big 12 Conference, staying there, going to Oklahoma State, and it seems like that there's a decent chance that Spencer Sanders is not going to be back with the Cowboys next year. Hudson Card feels like him and Mike Gundy could be a very nice match We know the way that offense loves to run up and down, quick up-tempo offense. Card could be a natural fit to pair alongside with Mike Gundy and see where that Oklahoma State team could go. And he might be the most hated man in Norman if it goes from Austin to Stillwater, if that's the case. But to me, that seems like a very good fit right there. And Oklahoma State has an answer at quarterback then. When you look at their other quarterbacks, when Sanders went down, it was not good for that team. Number 2 on our list is the NC State Wolfpack. Dave Doran and company had a very solid year. He's turned that program into a competitive one over the last couple of seasons now. And Doran and company looking for a quarterback, a chance to compete right away in the ACC. There seems to be an opening in that league. That seems like a very good option as well. We have a few more names, a few more schools to get to for Hudson Card. Before we get to that, today's show is brought to you by Fetch. Fetch is an easy-to-use and free app that lets you earn rewards on literally anything you buy. Scan any physical receipt or e-receipt, and you will earn points for your purchases. And process only takes seconds. You don't have to worry about where the receipt is from or what's on it. So let me show you how to simply use it. All you have to do is open up the Fetch app, press the orange camera button, and snap a photo of your receipt. Then submit, and you'll see the confetti pop showing that you've earned more reward points. It's a simple process. You can also click the e-receipt function to get rewarded for your Amazon purchases and other online shopping by syncing your email account. You can also redeem these points for gift cards to Amazon, Starbucks, and any of the hundreds of retailers and restaurants available. Fetch is available on iPhone as well as Android. Use our link, chatsports.com/Fetch, and enter the promo code CHAT at sign up for 5,000 points when you scan your first receipt. There's the equivalent of a free $5 gift card to get started. It's a free app, and the 5,000 bonus points is only for a limited time. So get started now, chatsports.com/Fetch, and use the promo code CHAT. The link is also in the comments and the description of today's video. Number 3 on our list is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, if Card were to go to Notre Dame, you'd have to think he would be in a quarterback competition. NC State and Oklahoma State are higher on this list because he would go in as the number 1 starter from the jump. Notre Dame would probably be a quarterback competition for Hudson Card there. And when it comes scheme-wise, I don't know if necessarily Hudson Card is going to be able to operate an offense where he's in control at Notre Dame with what they do, as comparably speaking to Oklahoma State and NC State that run a more similar scheme to what he ran at the University of Texas. Number 4 is Kentucky. The Kentucky Wildcats. It was actually kind of a disappointing season for Kentucky, as the expectations have certainly gone up a bit, and they were certainly excited to have Will Levis, who's expected to be a first-round pick in this April's upcoming draft. And they're going to be looking at replacement options for Will Levis. Remember, they actually got Will Levis from the transfer portal when he was previously at Penn State. So head coach Mark Stoops has gone this route before. And then number 5 on our list is the Cincinnati Bearcats. And Cincinnati, a team that will be looking to the quarterback market. They'll have a new head coach. Still a lot of moving parts and pieces. We don't even know what the scheme is going to be, obviously, but staying within the Big 12 Conference, and we know that they have talent there. Cincinnati looking to compete right away. A veteran quarterback could certainly help their cause there. So where will Hudson end up? Predict it for me in the comments section. Name a team, whether it's one of those 5 that we brought up or someone else in college football that you think Hudson Card will end up in the comments section below. And make sure to join us this Sunday for our college football playoff reveal show, as we will break down the final rankings and we'll know the semifinal matchups for the college football playoff. Who's in? Who's out? We'll find out Sunday. Follow with us as we break down the playoff games. We'll also be reacting to all of the bowl games that are revealed in real time as well. You don't want to miss it. It is going to be a heck of a time coming up this Sunday. Join us. You will not want to miss it. Who's in? Let's find out. All right, now let's move on and talk college football playoff expansion. As we learned within the last several hours that the college football playoff is officially expanding to 12 teams in 2024. We already knew that it was going to expand to 12 teams. It was just a matter of when, not if. Now we know exactly when that will be. A huge win, and everybody in college football is celebrating now because the little guy gets a seat at the table, more games, more teams involved, as we haven't really seen a true playoff in this 4-team system. Now at 12, we really get to see who the best teams in the country are and find a real champion here with this expanded playoff. So the sites, as it's been worked out, now that the Rose Bowl has gotten out of the way and allowed this to happen, here's how this will go down. The first round will be at home sites, as the top 4 seeds in the playoff will have bye weeks, and so 5 through 12 will play. The higher seeds will get to host. The quarterfinals will take place at the Fiesta Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. The semifinal games in 2024 will take place at the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl, and then the national title game will take place in Atlanta, the same site as the SEC championship game and the Peach Bowl. So quite a run there for Atlanta, as they'll get to have the SEC, the Peach Bowl, and the national title all within a matter of weeks. Then we skip to 2025. Same deal. First round sites are going to be home games. Then the quarterfinals will include the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, the Orange Bowl in Miami, the Rose Bowl and Sugar Bowl each have quarterfinals those years. And then the semifinals will take place at the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl. The national title game takes place in Miami, the same site where the University of Miami and the Miami Dolphins play, as well as the Orange Bowl there. And you may be asking, well, what would a 12-team playoff look like if it were in 2022? Well, we would see that Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC, assuming that they win their conferences and things hold as is with the current CFP rankings, they would all have first-round byes. But then you would see a Penn State-Clemson matchup there in Happy Valley. We would have Ohio State taking on Tulane in Columbus, as Tulane would be the highest-ranked Group of 5 champion. They would get a spot. Utah would be taking on Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and then Tennessee would be hosting K-State in Knoxville, and the winners of those games would take on the top 4 seeds after their byes. So this playoff would certainly be fun, would be very fascinating to see how this all plays out. In the format of it that we're looking at is that the top 4 conference champions all get first-round byes. The top 6 ranked conference champions are automatically in the playoff, and that includes the highest ranked conference champion out of the Group of 5 as well. So your Power 5 are represented, and then the highest ranked Group of 5 conference champion. And then the other 6 spots go to wild card teams based on the committee. So very fascinating to see how ultimately this will all play out, as we'll have to wait a couple of years, but nonetheless, a 12-team playoff is officially on the way. So do you like the idea of an expanded playoff? Is 12 too many, or is it not enough, or do you wish it was just staying at 4? Maybe you're somebody that misses the BCS. I don't know who you are, but you might be out there. What do you think? Do you like the expanded playoff going to 12 teams? If you do, let me know in the comments section. Type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. As always, you can interact with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. And I'll see you next time here on College Football Now.